Hi my friends, and welcome to my channel, sysadmin toolkit. And if this is the first time you're logging onto my channel, I really appreciate it. Please check out my other videos in my channel. Please subscribe so that you can be up to date with the latest releases. And in this video, as a follow-up to my previous video about email security, I'll be looking at a number of security tools and resources that you can use or can be useful for dealing with things such as ransomware, phishing, smishing, crypto mining, macro malware, phishing, among a number of other attacks that can happen and have happened in the past to a number of organizations. I've even experienced cases of ransomware in other organizations, which these tools have become handy in terms of recovering, right, from those effects of these viruses or attacks that can happen from time to time, right? So as I said before, no matter the type of system you have or advanced the system is, all it takes is just one click, right? So to be aware of the tools that exist without at times spending a lot of money that your organization might not have is very important as a system admin, to know as many tools, as many platforms, many resources, right? Being able to put as many measures in place to deal with these situations that can arise from time to time. Alright, so I will not be looking at these in any particular order. More quickly, let us go to, I just wanted to look at a platform, and I'm going to be putting a link to all of these resources that I will be visiting so that you can actually test and experiment on your own. And as I said before, always experiment in a test environment, just to ensure that you understand the inner workings of these applications or platforms before you deploy them within your production environment. Alright, so without further ado, let us quickly go to this website here. Alright, so this website is called More Ransom. Alright, and pretty much it's just a website that hosts a number of ransomware decryption keys. So some of the most popular ransomware decryption keys have been hosted on this site that helps and have helped in the past in terms of recovering a lot of encrypted files. But this is not a guarantee, but it has helped to a great extent. So depending on your language of your country, then you can select that language. Right, once you get to this site, you recognize need help unlocking your digital life without paying your attackers. That's the question. Right, and for persons who are unaware of what malware does, is that a malware ransomware is a malware that locks your computer and mobile devices or encrypts your electronic files. When this happens, you can't get to the data unless you pay a ransom. However, this is not guaranteed and you should never pay. Right? In my case, when I experienced this in the past, and I said that all it took was just one end user. Right? So we had a number of systems in place, but one end user clicked on a simple email and that was the end of it. But the good thing is that we had backup in place to have replaced all that data. So I can never emphasize the importance of having a good backup solution in place. Right, so the good news is that prevention is possible. Following simple cybersecurity advice can help you to avoid becoming a victim of ransomware. The bad news is that unfortunately, in many cases, once ransomware has been released into your device or network, there is little you can do unless you have a backup or security software in place. Right? This is the key to having your organization continuously operating. Right? And the good news is that nevertheless, it is sometimes possible to help infected users to regain access to their encrypted files or lock systems without having to pay. Because that is what the bad guys want to do. We have created a repository of keys and applications that can decrypt data locked by different types of ransomware. Right, so this is a in-depth or advanced platform put together by some good guys, as you would say, to help persons that have fallen victim by these ransomware attacks. Right, so once you get to this site, all you have to do is say yes, right, and I put in a link to these platforms in my description. Right, you simply go and choose the location of the file from your PC. You can upload a number of files. You can also type below any email, website URL, onion or Bitcoin address you see in the ransomware demand, right? And they can actually carry out a test on that in order to decrypt the information. So once you get there and you upload, right, all you need to do is to go find out, and it will do an advanced search on the type of ransomware, the nature of it, and then it will also be able to carry out, once it has the decrypt keys in its database, it will be able to run against those files in your organization and to restore your data. But I can't emphasize the importance of having a backup in place. Right, so that is a very useful platform for cases of ransomware. Right, so for example, in cases of crypto mining, right, and what they do with crypto mining is pretty much utilize the resources of your servers, your end user devices, that is in terms of the computing or the processing power memory, to actually mine cryptocurrencies, right? So all of a sudden your powerful servers will be start moving like snails on your network, and you pretty much might never be able to find out what is happening or what is causing that sort of a performance and denial of service to um, your end users in terms of functionality. Right, so let me go to a few sites that can be used to help to block against crypto mining. Right, so you have simply plugins that can be used. Right, one of the latest version of the privacy focus browser that can be used is called the Brave browser, and that will block crypto mining scripts from running in your browser by default. Right, so this is what this browser looks like. Right, it is called a browse 3x faster, and it is called a Brave browser that has a lot of privacy built in. Right, so it says stop online surveillance, those content faster, and use 33% less battery. So this will also help a lot of security features as well as to reduce crypto mining. Right, a very powerful, effective browser, but yet again, it all depends on your organizational policy, the applications that you're running in. So you can go ahead and then test this browser to see how well it works. I mean, how well it fits within the policies of your organization and the various applications that they use. And this has a number of features, block harmful ads, right, all of these features more privately, right, without fear censorship from outside, right. So all of these features are built into this browser that can be used to reduce the effects of crypto mining, right. In cases where you have Mozilla Firefox, the new version 67 of Firefox browser will block crypto mining scripts from running, right. So you could also implement Mozilla Firefox, right. Then you can go ahead and actually install Mozilla Firefox in your organization, and I guess many of you are aware of what Mozilla Firefox looks like, right? Very important. Another important key is to use what is called NoScript, right? The free NoScript Firefox extension, right? It's a simple, powerful extension that you actually plug into Firefox, right? You go and you can simply go to NoScript and install this particular extension, and it will ensure that you don't have those scripts running, right, that can actually activate crypto mining. Right, so that's about 3. Let's go to another tool that we have that we can look at. So that's for crypto mining. Then we can look at, let me see what next on my list. Right, you have a number of, let me go back to my, right, so we have ransomware, phishing, smishing, crypto mining. Alright, so let me quickly pull up those additional resources that can be implemented within the organization, right? And it's always a combination of tools. There's no one magic bullet, right? It's just strategically using these resources to your advantage as best as possible. Right, let us look at some phishing resources, right? And phishing has to do with suspicious or malicious incoming phone calls, right? So things like right, there's this wonderful resource called RobKiller, that's RoboKiller, sorry, or RoboKiller app, and that will block all telemarketing or robocalls from coming in, even if they have spoofed their caller ID, right? And this is where social engineering comes in order to take advantage of your end users and even yourself as a network admin in terms of getting data that they can use to infiltrate or exploit the security of your network, right? And this is what it looks like, right? That is right. So this is what it looks like, and this is called live spam call free. Right, you can actually try this feature to see how well it works, and then you could actually have it implemented within your organization. Right, especially in cases whereby you have a lot of, maybe CUG or company related phones within your organization that can be used. Right, these applications can be used to reduce the risk of or for your own purposes, malicious or incoming phone calls. Right, so we could also, so that is phishing. Let us also look at resources that we can use in cases of smishing. Right, in cases of smishing, you are looking at websites that can deal with suspicious or malicious SMS text on your smartphone. Right, so we can also look at malware bytes mobile that you can use. Right, you can also have these applications downloaded on your end user devices, phones or smart devices that are used to carry a company communication or company work on a daily basis. So these things can be installed on those devices to protect against these sort of attacks from causing damage to your enterprise data. All right, so let us quickly look at just a few other tools I want to be looking at. Browser security resources that can also be used. Things like privacy browsers, right? You have what is called Ghostry, and it has a great privacy based browser similar to Brave, right? Quora, DuckDuckGo, right? Those are just a number of resources or tools that you can actually use, right? So you could go ahead and play around with these applications, and I will put in a link in the description that contains a vast array of links to a number of other resources that you can experiment and test on your own to see the functionality and the level of security that these can actually add in terms of providing overall endpoint security in your organization as required. Alright guys, hope this was helpful in terms of adding value to yourself as well as protecting your company's assets as well as the end users in your organization.